Welcome, where we take fascinating, sometimes complicated stories and break them down into a narrative you won't forget. So let me ask you a question. What if your shadow, the darkest part of you, literally wanted to take over your life? Well, in the cursed Italian village of Kuran, that question is terrifyingly real. It all revolves around a sunken bell tower, a chilling local legend, and the idea that your own repressed pain can come back to kill you. Okay, so our story kicks off with a woman named Anna. After 17 very long years away, she's headed back to her childhood home in Kuran. And she's not alone. She's got her teenage twins with her, Daria, who's got a bit of a rebellious streak, and Maro, who's more quiet and anxious. Now you have to understand, this is no happy homecoming. Anna is running from her present, sure, but she's heading straight back into the nightmare of her past. See, 17 years ago, she watched something unimaginable. A woman who looked exactly like her mother, a doppelganger, murdered her mother in cold blood. Her own father, Thomas, made her flee the village, telling her it was all just a bad dream. So when she shows up now, what's the first thing he says? Get out, you have to leave, warning her about the shadows. And wouldn't you know it, that very first night, the past she was trying to escape finally catches up to her. After she puts her kids to bed, Anna just disappears. Gone, leaving her twins completely alone with a grandfather they barely know and who's clearly hiding something huge. So the next morning, Daria and Maro start this frantic search for their mom. But as they start asking questions and poking around, it becomes pretty clear this isn't a simple case of a parent taking off. Nope, they're stumbling into something way, way darker. Maro keeps hearing these strange noises upstairs, which leads him to a locked door. He gets it open, and what he sees is just pure horror. There's a woman who looks exactly, and I mean exactly, like his mom, tied to a chair and gagged. But before he can even process what's happening, she breaks free, attacks him, and escapes. When they confront their grandfather, he tries to gaslight them. He says, "Oh, it was just a nightmare. You were hallucinating." But the twins know he's lying, and they know it for sure when they find their mom's phone hidden in his coat. At this point, Thomas is completely cornered. He's out of excuses, out of lies. So he finally breaks down and tells them the terrifying secret of Kuran, a legend that's all tied to the deep, dark waters of the town lake. The source of this whole curse, the epicenter of the horror, is the town's most famous landmark, an old church bell tower sticking straight out of the middle of a man-made lake. The local legend says that if you're in a dark enough place in your life and you hear those ghostly bells toll, something is coming for you. Not just to kill you, but to replace you. And this doppelganger, this shadow self, it's not just a random evil twin. No, it's much more personal. It's a version of you that's literally born from your deepest pain, your anger, all your repressed feelings. Think about it. It's you, but without any of your fears or your conscience. It's stronger, it's ruthless, and it wants the life that it feels it was denied. And the process is just horrifyingly straightforward. First, your life is in shambles, you're in real emotional pain, and that's when you hear the bells. Then your shadow self literally crawls out of the lake. It stalks you, studies you, and when it's learned everything it needs to know, it kills you and just steps into your life. And the scariest part? No one can tell the difference. We see this play out in real time with a local teenager, Lucas. The original kid is shy, kind of lonely, you know? But after he hears the bells, his shadow emerges. And this new Lucas is confident, he's aggressive, he's cruel. He doesn't just replace the old one. He murders his father's cat just for spite and then violently goes after Miki, the girl the real Lucas quietly adored. It's a total, terrifying transformation. So armed with this absolutely horrifying truth, Daria and Maro's mission completely changes. They get it now. They're not just looking for their missing mom. They're in a fight for their lives against a monster that's wearing her face. The exact same creature that escaped from that locked room. But here's where it gets even worse. They start to realize that the problem is so much bigger than just one doppelganger. They find out that Anna's old boyfriend, Albert, was actually replaced by his shadow years ago. And then Albert's wife, Clara, Well, she's just heard the bells herself, which means another shadow is on the loose. The town is basically crawling with these things. So what do? The twins decide to fight back. They cook up this plan to trap the fake Anna, the shadow, and it works. They manage to trick the creature and lock it back in the same room where Mauro found it in the first place. They completely turn the tables. Now that the shadow is contained, they can finally follow the clues to find their real mom. It leads them to this desolate, creepy place called the Valley of the Dead. And there, hidden away, absolutely terrified, they find her. They find the real Anna. You can just feel the relief, right? But it lasts for all of about 5 seconds. Just as they're reunited, who shows up? The shadow of Anna, who's now been freed by the shadow of Albert. The two doppelgangers are there with one simple goal: make sure the real Anna never, ever leaves that valley alive. What happens next is just a brutal, bloody showdown. It's a fight where survival comes at this soul-crushing cost, and honestly, the lines between who's good and who's bad get completely washed away. Picture it. It's chaos. You've got two identical Annas fighting for their lives, and the twins are just standing there helpless because they can't tell which one is their real mother. Shadow Albert raises his rifle. He wants to kill the real Anna for abandoning him, but you can see he's hesitating. In a moment of just total despair, he fires, shooting one of the Annas. And then he turns the gun on himself. So one Anna survives. She runs to her children. She's hugging them. Daria is just relieved it's over. But Mauro is frozen. His gut is just screaming at him, telling him the absolute worst thing imaginable. They saved the wrong one. They get in the car and drive away from Kuran. It's the traumatized twins, their grandfather, their friend Miki's mom Clara, who is also doppelganger now, and their mother, the very creature that murdered the original. They are literally trapped in a car with the monster they were trying to beat. And as they're driving, thinking the nightmare is finally over, a faint sound starts to echo through the car, a sound they know all too well. It's the ghostly tolling of the sunken bell tower. But this time, the bells aren't for the adults. This time, Daria hears them, and miles away, in another car, her friend Miki hears them too. They may have escaped the village, but they did not escape the curse. It's just been passed down to the next generation. And that's the chilling takeaway from Kuran. You simply can't outrun your own pain, because that lake, it's patient, and it is always, always waiting for new shadows to rise.